Hello and welcome to another session in English language, and today we'll focus on structure, and under that we'll be considering non-restrictive clause, the WH clause, and also we'll also be looking at tips on how to answer or write good essays in your examination. We'll be looking at hints or tips on writing good essays in an examination. But before that, let us review our previous lesson. Welcome back. Like I said, today we are focusing on structure, non-restrictive clause, and tips on writing good essays in an examination. So we begin with structure, non-restrictive clauses, that is the WH clauses. We want to see areas we can focus on. How do we identify non-restrictive clauses, and how do we actually know that they are non-restrictive clauses? So that's what we're looking at today. So let's get into the lesson today proper. Now, like I said here, that in non-restrictive clauses, which are also called what? WH clauses. So we can say that another name for restrictive clauses is what? Is a WH clause. WH clause. Okay. So most of the times they are introduced with words that are what? WH. What are the words that are WH? We have who, we have which, we have what? When, and the likes. Okay? We have so many of them like that. Okay? So, but we always introduce them with note that they begin with what? WH. Okay? So, now, we said the WH clause provides additional information to the word subject. Okay, remember that we said clauses in themselves, okay, can either be, if you remember when we talked about the dependent clause and the independent word clauses, we said another name for the independent clause is what? Main clause, or what you call principal clause. Okay, this then we have what we call the dependent clause, and we have what we call the subordinate clause. Okay, the dependent clause and what? Subordinate clause. Okay, so but our focus today is on subordinate clause. Okay, subordinate what? Clause. So that's what we are focusing today, subordinate clauses. And the aspect of subordinate clauses we're focusing on is what? The non-restrictive what? Clause. So don't forget, we said the WH clauses, they provide information about the subject, okay, and they are marked with what? Commas. That is, they are always introduced with what? Commas, or at the beginning and also at the what? Ending. For instance, look at the expression, the young lawyer who is 25 gave the closing remark. So we can, if we look at this expression I underlined, who is 25, is the non-restrictive word clause, meaning that we can do without this. We can say the young lawyer gave the closing remark. So this who is 25 is giving more information about the subject. And what's the subject here? The lawyer. So the lawyer with S here is representing the subject. So who is 25 is giving more information, okay, about the young lawyer. Then look at the second one, which has been renovated. Which has been renovated. So, okay, the house which has been renovated looks very new. So we can say the house looks very new. Okay, so we are talking about the non-restrictive clauses, and we are looking at examples here. Like I said, the house which has been renovated looks very new. So it can read the house looks very new. So which has been renovated is giving us additional information about the subject house. So the subject here is what? The house. Now, we could also have another one. The book about which much has been said is not interesting. So it can read without this expression, the book is not what? Interesting. But we want to give additional information about it. So we say the book about which so much has been said is not interesting. So it's giving us additional information about what? Subject, the book. Okay, giving us more information about the subject, what? Book. Okay. Then we also have the principal who I told you about is a sadist. So the principal is a sadist, can read without the expression who I told you about. So that's what principally non-restrictive clauses are, the WH clauses which provide what? Additional information to the what? Subjects. So let's move on to the next part, which is writing, hints on writing essays in an exam. That is, how do I improve my performance in writing essays in an exam? So number one is that you treat as many ideas as possible, as many topics as you can cover within the allotted time. So for instance, you have to write, so you would always be given a list of essays to write. You have one on argumentative essay, just to remind you what we've done in the past. We did argumentative essay, we did something on descriptive essay, we did something on what? Narrative essay, we did something on what? Letter writing. So if you are going to write on any of them, you just have to write on as many ideas as you can within the allotted time. So you have an allotted time to write on argumentative essay, descriptive essay, narrative essay, etc. So just choose any essay of your choice and make sure you treat as many ideas in relation to that what topic, within a short space of time. And even though the idea may be old, it's always ideal that you present your ideas in a new perspective. Okay, maybe you are narrating an event that has passed. Okay, you have to be creative about your writing. Okay, so here the emphasis is on creativity and innovation. Okay, you have to be creative and you have to be innovative. Okay, all right, so you have to make sure that you know how to invent your ideas in new perspective of human development, and do that sequentially, or what you call in an orderly manner. Okay, do that in an orderly manner. Also, the language you use in writing should be appropriate and clear. Okay, don't write in ambiguous language. Okay, so please, less ambiguity. Okay, less ambiguity. What we mean by ambiguity is complex words. Don't use too many, complex words. Don't allow your examiner keep referring to the dictionary. Okay, use simplicity. So the word here is simplicity. Okay, simple, and it should be straightforward. Okay, let it be appropriate and clear to the reader what you are actually, your language style. Okay, then also emphasis also should be placed on the correctness of what your language. So pay attention here to what your tenses. Okay, pay attention to your what tenses. Where you have to use present tense, use present tense. If you are doing a narrative essay, please, your tenses also have to be alright. You have to pay attention to your tenses. Pay attention to your tenses. Okay, pay attention to your tenses. Then also please avoid what you call bias or overzealousness. Sometimes because you have practiced over the years or over time, there's a tendency that you want to be overzealous, or you want to be sentimental in your choice of essay. Like I said, choose the one where you have enough facts. Okay, that's what essay writing is all about. You have enough facts. Okay, I told you that you have to settle this in your mind. Okay, you have to settle this in your mind that you have enough facts before you start writing. So don't be biased that, okay, I'm more driven in the area of narrative essay. Yes, I'm good at argumentative essay. Yes, I'm good at letter writing, whether formal or informal letter. Please don't avoid those biases. Okay, forget about it. Just make sure you have enough facts when you are attempting any of the essays. And lastly, please, your time frame. There's a time frame for every question, so please stay within the time frame. Okay, stay within the time frame. Don't exceed the time allotted. So with this, we've come to the end of the lesson today. So thank you very much for joining us in this lesson. To refresh your memory and recall all that was taught in this lesson, I would encourage and love that you take the test that appears on your screen.